Shabbat Shalom and welcome to the SALT community, Set Apart Living Torah. Stand with me if you're able and face the east, please, toward the direction of the holy city of Yerushalayim. We're going to go into prayer before the Most High. Yahuwah, you are awesome, perfect in all your ways, worthy of all of our adoration, thanksgiving, worship, and praise. There is none like unto you. Your judgments are righteous and true. The Shamayim declares your esteem. We come today to humble ourselves before you. We bow our hearts to you, Yahuwah. We come today to receive instruction from your Torah, that we might walk in the way which you have laid out for us. And your Yashid, Yahushua HaMashiach, who has bought us with a blood-bought price, we say Todah Rabbah for all that you have done. Todah Rabbah for all that you are doing, Yahuwah, and for all that you will do in our lives, in the life of your Yehezqēls, and in the lives of all Yasharal, wherever they are scattered. We come today accepting the punishment that was given to our ancestors because they walked contrary to you, and you, as a result, walked contrary to them too. And so we come today crying out to you, how long, Yahuwah, how long? Until you send Hamashiach down to redeem us. How long? How long? We cry out to you, Yahuwah, redeem us. Remember the covenant on today that you made with our ancestors. Forgive us of our sins in thought, word, and deed, and give us a clean heart as we approach to draw closer and to draw nigh unto you today. Draw nigh unto us, we pray. We ask for traveling mercy for those who would still be on the road anywhere in the world on their way to a Shabbat service. We ask that you would send your messengers to encamp round about them. Charge them to keep them safe from all hurt, harm, and danger, that they would arrive from their point of origin to their destination without accident, incident, or interaction with law enforcement. We ask that you would be a hedge about the children of Yasharal today, that you would gird them up, that you would have them in a place where they can see the good works of their parents and esteem you and Shamayim, Yahuwah. We ask that you would lead us and guide us in your paths of righteousness for your name's sake. We ask, Yahuwah, that you would unstop our ears and that you would open our eyes to the truth that the Ruach HaKodesh will bring forth from your word today, from your Torah today. We ask that you would help us to be focused in our Ruach, and let your Ruach HaKodesh have his way with us today. Have your way amongst your people, Yahuwah. Have your way amongst us. Touch hearts. Touch, heal, renew, restore those who are sick. We pray for Akote Ozaria today, wherever she is, that in her struggle, that you would gird her up, and that you would strengthen her, and that you would touch, heal, renew, and restore, and bring wholeness to her body from the top of her head to the tip of her toes. For those of us who might be sick, the elders are here, and we are all in agreement. And we're asking that you would show yourself to be Yahuwah Rafika, Yah who heals on today to those that need healing in the body and in the assemblies. That you would touch them in their innermost being. We're asking you to prick hearts, those that are not sure of which way they're going to go. They've heard this truth, but they may not be walking in it yet. They might be looking on the internet today, Yahuwah, and they need a word from you to give them, to know of a surety, to walk in the way according to your will, your word, and your way. We ask these things in Hashem Yahushua, and we'll be careful and sure to give you all of the esteem because you are worthy.
Hallelujah.
Let the redeemed of Yah say hallelujah.
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 Hallel Yahuwah, Hallel Yahushua. At this time, we would ask Akote Elishaba to come and lead us in the Shema.
Amalek Naaman, Shema Yashrael, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Echad, Baruch Shem Kavod, Malkuto, Leolam, Ued. Uahata, et Yahuwah, Elohecha, B'kol, Levaka, Ubekol, Nafshika, Ubekol, Meodeka, Uhayu, Deďabarim, Ha'eleh, Asher, Anoki, Metzuka, haYom, Alevavika, Ushinantam, Labineka, Diďbarta, Bam, Beshiptika, Uvelektika, Baderek, Ushaptika, Ukumeka, Ukshartam, Leot, Aliadika, Uhayu, Netotapot, Vain, Eneka, Uktaptam, Al-Mazuzot, Betika, Uvisharika. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Does everybody have their praise instruments? Make a joyful noise, Yasharal. Make a joyful noise. We are here to praise Him.
Hallelujah.
Scripture says that if we don't praise Him, the rocks will cry out and praise Him. Praise is an intimate encounter between we and the Most High.
Okay.
Don't worry about who's in the room, how they're moving, how the Ruach HaKodesh is moving. Just focus on the Most High and let Him have His way amongst His people through the Ruach HaKodesh today. We were made to praise Him. Yahuwah, we magnify Thy name. Let me praise Him with my stringed instrument. exalt you. Yahoo saves. Yahoo saves. Yahoo heals. Yahoo breathes the breath of life. Yahoo saves. Yahoo saves. Yahoo heals. Yahoo breathes the breath of life. And we sing, Todah, 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 Robah. And we sing, Todah, 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 Robah. And we sing, Todah, 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 Robah. And we sing, Todah, 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 Robah. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, we magnify your name. Yahuwah, we exalt you. Yahuwah, we magnify your name. Yahuwah, we exalt you. Again. Yahuwah, we magnify your name. Yahuwah, we exalt you. Again. Yahuwah, we magnify your name. Yahuwah, we exalt you. Yahoo saves. Yahoo saves. Yahoo heals. Yahoo breathes the breath of life. Again. Yahoo saves. Yahoo heals. Yahoo breathes the breath of life. And we sing, Todah, 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 Todah. And we sing, Todah, 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 Todah. Again. And we sing, Todah, 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 Todah. Todah, 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 Todah. Yahushua, Yahushua, you bought us with the blood-bought price. It's a debt we can never repay. Again. Yahushua, you bought us with the blood-bought price. It's a debt we can never repay. Hallelujah. Yahuwah. Yahuwah, we magnify your name. Yahuwah, we exalt you. Yahuwah, we magnify your name. Yahuwah, we exalt you. Yahoo saves. Yahoo saves. Yahoo heals. Yahoo breathes the breath of life. Hallelujah. Yahoo saves. Yahoo heals. Yahoo breathes the breath of life. And we sing. Yeah. And we sing. Todah, 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 Todah. And we sing. Todah, 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 Todah. And we sing. And we sing. Todah, 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 Todah. And we sing. Todah, 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 Todah. Yahoo saves. Yahoo saves. Yahoo heals. Yahoo breathes the breath of life. Yahoo saves. Yahoo heals. Yahoo breathes the breath of life. Give him a hand clap of praise. He is worthy. He is worthy. He is worthy. He
You are worthy. No matter what.
One day,
Always. We give you
Hamashiach
praise.
will return.
We give you praise.
One day,
You are worthy.
he will gather us as a nation and take us back to the land of our forefathers, as promised in the covenant.
Hallelujah.
One day, hallelujah.
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 Hallelujah. You are worthy.
Until then,
Hallelujah.
we're going to sing Kumbaya.
Hallelujah.
Stop by here. Yah, come see about me.
Hallelujah. What? Oh, yeah.
Kumbaya. Come see about me. In the land of our captivity. Kumbaya. Kumbaya. Come see about me. In the days of the enemy. 400 years and counting. We've been doing hard times in the land of our captivity. No more surety that your seed will serve 400 years. 400 years in a land with a strange song. 400 years in a land where they don't care about the old or the young. 400 years in the land of our captivity. 400 years. Your seed. Kumbaya. Kumbaya. Come see about me. In the cage of the enemy. Kumbaya. Kumbaya. Come see about me. In the land. In the land of our captivity. Kumbaya. Kumbaya. Come see about me. Let me hear you sing, after all. Kumbaya. Kumbaya. Come see about me. In the land of our captivity. Kumbaya. Kumbaya. Come see about me. In the land of our captivity. Kumbaya. Kumbaya. Come see about me. Let me praise him, 'cause I want to testify of my string instrument. Let me praise him. down in the street. They shoot us down. They shoot us down in the street. 400 years straight through, hanging from the top of the tree. 400 years, your seed will serve. Know that for a surety. But guess what, Yahshua? The time is about up. Time for us to go back to the land promised by the covenant.
Hallelujah!
You gotta say so.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
Let the redeemed of Yah say so. Hallelujah!
Hallelujah!
Oh, yes. Praise is the sweet savor in the ear of Yahuwah. And the Ruach HaKodesh is in this
Hey!
400 years. Kumbaya, kumbaya. Remember the covenant. Remember our Yahuwah. Remember the covenant that you made with our ancestors. Remember. Oh, Lord, we wait until you send a Mattithyahu, Yahuwah. How long will it take until they are made to be made for what they have done to your children? How long must we wait? Our God, our ancestors cried. How long will it take until you send Mattithyahu, Kumbaya, kumbaya, come see about me. In the land of our captivity, kumbaya, kumbaya, come see about me. In the gates of the enemy, kumbaya, kumbaya, come see about me. In the land of the enemy, kumbaya, the land of our captivity, kumbaya, come see about me. Let me hear you say kumbaya, kumbaya, come see about me. In the land of our captivity, kumbaya, kumbaya, come see about me. In the land of our captivity, kumbaya, kumbaya, come see about me. Give him a hand clap of praise. Hallelujah. Oh, it's awesome to give him praise. It's awesome to give him praise. We here at Salt Community would like to welcome everyone. It's so good to see your faces in the place today. Those of you who are visiting us again, and those of you who are visiting us for the first time, those of you who are joining us on the internet. It is so good to worship the Most High with you on today. We do not tithe here, but we do accept love offerings and free will offerings. If you're joining us online and you want to make an offering, our information for PayPal is in the information box. If you're here, there is a basket somewhere in this room, right here, that has envelopes. We believe that you should give where you are fed. And so, again, we welcome you. We're about to do another song. This one is called the Exodus, David's Dance. And I would ask my Kote Deborah to help me.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. He is worthy. He is worthy.
Let's see yours here. Let me see if I can.
comes down. When the praise goes up, the rocket comes down. When the praise goes
Hallelujah.
So worthy.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Before we get
Hallelujah.
into our Torah lesson for today,
Hallelujah.
I'm going to ask Todah Kaliyah if she would come and recite the song of Moshe.
Hallelujah. Todah. Hallelujah. We're going to worship you. Hallelujah.
Shabbat Shalom, Yasharal,
Shabbat Shalom.
who are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and to all our faithful companions in Yahuwah, through Yahushua, our Hamashiach. I read to you today from Deďarim, Deuteronomy chapter 32, starting from the first verse through the 43rd verse. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
We will be reading the song of Moshe. Hallelujah. Give ear, O heavens, and let me speak. And hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. Let my instruction fall as rain, my speech drop down as dew. As fine rain on the tender plants, and as showers on the grass. For I proclaim the name of Yahuwah, ascribe greatness to our Elohim. The rock, his work is perfect, for all his ways are right ruling, and all of truth, and without unrighteousness. Righteous and straight is he. A twisted and crooked generation has corrupted itself. They're blemished. They are not his children. Do you do this to Yahuwah? O foolish and unwise people, is he not your father who bought you? Who created you and established you? Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask your father and let him show you. Your elders and let them say to you. When the Most High gave the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the boundaries of the peoples according to the number of the children of Yasharal. For the portion of Yahuwah is his people. Yaakov is allotted inheritance. He found him in a wilderness, and in a wasted, howling desert. He encompassed him. He made him understand. He watched over him as the apple of his eye. As an eagle stirs up its nest, flutters over its young, spreading out its wings, taking them up, bearing them on its wings. Yahuwah alone led him, and there was no strange mighty one with him. He made him ride in the heights of the earth, and he ate the fruits of the field. And he made him to draw honey from the rock, and oil from the flinty rock, curds from the cattle, and milk of the flock, with fat of lambs, and rams of the bread of Bashan, and goats with the choicest wheat. And you drank wine, the blood of grapes. But Yeshurun grew fat and kicked. You grew fat, you grew thick. You are covered with fat. So he forsook Eloah who made him, and scorned the rock of his deliverance. They moved him to jealousy with foreign matters. With abominations they provoked him. They slaughtered to demons, not Eloah. Mighty ones they did not know. New ones who came lately, which your fathers did not fear. You neglected the rock who brought you forth, and forgot the all who fathered you. And Yahuwah saw and despised, because of the provocation of his sons and his daughters. And he said, let me hide my face from them. Let me see what their end is, for they are a perverse generation. Children in whom there is no trusting. They made me jealous by what is not all. They provoke me with their worthless matters. But I make them jealous by those who are no people. I provoke them with a foolish nation. For a fire was kindled in my wrath, and burns to the bottom of Sheol, and consumes the earth and its increase, and sets on fire the foundations of the mountains. I gather evils upon them. I use up my arrows upon them, wasted by scarcity of food, and consumed by heat and bitter destruction. And the teeth of beasts I send upon them, with the poison of serpents of the dust. The sword bereaves from the outside, and fear from within. Both young man and maiden, nursing child with the man of gray hairs. I said, I should blow them away. I should make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. If I did not fear the enemy's taunt, lest their adversaries misunderstand, lest they say, our hand is high, and Yahuwah has not done all this? For they are a nation lost to counsel, and there is no understanding in them. If they were wise, they would understand this. They would consider their latter end. How would one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight, unless their rock had sown them, and Yahuwah had given them up? For their rock is not like our rock. Even our enemies are judges. Their vine is of the vine of Sodom, and of the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of gall. Their clusters are bitter. Their wine is the poison of serpents, and the fierce venom of cobras. Is it not stored up with me, sealed up among my treasures? Vengeance is mine, and repayment, at the time their foot slips. For near is the day of their calamity, and the matters prepared are hastening to them. For Yahuwah rightly rules his people, and has compassion on his servants. When he sees that their power is gone, and there is no one remaining, shut up or at large, and he shall say, where are their mighty ones, the rock in whom they sought refuge? Who ate the fat of their slaughterings, and drank the wine of their drink offering? Let them arise and help you. Let it be a hiding place for you. See now that I am he, and there is no Elohim besides me. I put to death, and I make alive. I have wounded, and I heal, and from my hand no one delivers. For I lift my hand to the Shemaims, and shall say, as I live forever, if I have sharpened my flashing sword, and my hand takes hold on judgment, I shall return vengeance to my enemies, and repay those who hate me. I make my arrows drunk with blood, and my sword devours flesh, with the blood of the slain and the captives, from the long-haired enemy chiefs. O nations, acclaim his people, for he avenges the blood of his servants, and returns vengeance to his adversaries, and shall pardon his land, his people, Yasharal. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. We're about to go into our Torah portion for today. Give us a second to get set up for that. Todah.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's yours. You did?
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Have your way amongst your people.
Yahuwah.
Have your way amongst your people today. There is none like unto you, Yahuwah. There is none like unto you.
Khan, Yahuwah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. We count in joy. Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Wow, that's praise and worship just keeps getting better and better. Yeah, better. That was a beautiful, beautiful rendition. Deďarim, 32nd chapter.
Yes.
You know, often we see a song, it's a song of Moshe, and how did that go? And how did it sound? What was the rhythm? What was the, was it a rock? Was it, was it, how did he express that through song? And, and I just thought that was beautiful. Beautiful. It really, really, really touched me. I know we're going to go through that next week. Man, what a...
Hallelujah.
When we, and I've mentioned it before, when we're trying to express to our children our thoughts, those things that we've learned, those things that we experienced, we rehearse our history. We were told in this country when we want to talk about where we've been, what we've gone through, they say get over it. They don't want us to remember. They don't want us to reflect on all the things that we've dealt with as a people. But understand that that's what makes us strong. That's where we gather, gain hope, gain courage to be able to move forward.
Hallelujah.
We've been through a lot in this land of our captivity. We've suffered much. Those of us that have some age on us, we've been able to see and to experience and to understand the struggle. Moshe coming to understanding that my time is over, my time is coming to an end. Rehearsing the history, rehearsing what we've been through and what is ahead of us. The Bible is not a religious book.
Hallelujah.
It's a book of our history. It's a book about our people. It's a book that when we go through, it gives us courage knowing what we're about to enter into, about where we're about to go. It speaks to our ruach. To give us courage, to give us the ability to be able to persevere all the way to the end. I believe everybody in this room wants to be able to raise their hand in praise as their feet touch the soil of our homeland.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
We want to be able to see the land flourish and grow with each step we take.
Yes.
We want to be able to make it through to see all that the Most High has promised us as a people. We need to know, and we need to understand and to learn about our history. We're not going to be strong enough if we don't know. We're not going to have the necessary faith unless we know. The Torah is our history. It's our instruction. It's our guidance. And as we learn about the battles, as we learn about what our ancestors went through as they were in the wilderness, it gives us that strength, it gives us that courage, it gives us wisdom and understanding of how to deal with life and how to deal with the day-to-day struggles. How to find success and how to overcome those areas in our life where we fail. We need to know it. Moshe is at the end. He's saying, I'm not going to be able to make it over with you. I'm not going to be able to see and put my feet on that land, but listen and learn. Gain wisdom through what we've experienced over the last 40 years. That we may find victory. That we may be able to be established in that land, a land of promise, a land of milk and honey, a land that was first promised to our forefather, Abraham. We're in our Torah portion, Deďarim, the 31st chapter. We'll be going through just that one chapter. Deuteronomy, Deďarim, 31, starting at the first verse.
Deďarim 31:1. Moshe went and spoke these words to all Yashrael. And he said to them, I am 120 years old today. I am no longer able to go out and come in. And Yahuwah has said to me, you do not pass over this yard.
I'm not going to be able to make it over there with you. This is it for me. I'm 120 years old. I'd like to see that age. 120. And it was strong. Clear mind. Clear vision. Understood who he was. Where he came from. And what his people were about to undertake. And he's strong enough to let the people know, listen. All of Yashrael, listen and understand. Continue.
Verse 3. Yahuwah, your Elohim, himself is passing over before you.
That's important for us to understand in all of our battles, that he is passing over before us. Understand, we're his people. He's not throwing us out to fail.
Okay.
But in every endeavor, he has gone before us. In the second Exodus, he's going before us. It doesn't make a difference what our eyes see, what our ears hear. It doesn't make a difference what we experience in our emotions, in our flesh. We understand that the Most High has already secured our victory, secured our ability to be able to succeed as he's leading us and guiding us through. This is not our time of trouble. Yes, it is labeled Jacob's trouble as he punishes and he severely punishes the nations around. But understand that he's saying, this is not to you, but I'm delivering you. And as they were getting ready to cross over, and as he's already gone over their history, and as he began to speak about the victory, know this, I'm going over before you. To be able to secure and to be able to make sure that everything that has been promised will come to pass. Continue.
He shall destroy these nations from before you.
Okay, wait. Now, we know that they're told that they have to go over and draw swords and they have to fight. But he says that he is going to win these battles. He's going to secure all of this. See, we just go through the motions, but the battle is already won.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Continue.
And you possess them.
And you possess. I'm going to win the battle, but you possess it. In everybody else's sight, it looks like we went in and a few of us began to just rout all the enemy, no matter where he was at, to bring down strongholds and giants. We don't do anything of our own strength.
Apart from him, we can do nothing.
We can do nothing apart from him.
Hallelujah.
But know for sure that he has gone ahead of us to secure the victory. Continue.
Yahoshua himself is passing over before you,
Mhm.
as Yahuwah has spoken before. And Yahuwah shall do to them as he did to Sihon and to Og, the sovereigns of the Amorites in their land, when he destroyed them.
When he destroyed them, but we see a battle, didn't we?
Right.
We see warfare. People were swinging swords and and holding up shields and fighting and yelling. But yet, and when the battle was won, Moshe said he won.
That's right.
He was the one. I went before you.
Right.
Yes, you went through the motions, but I went before you to make sure that these people had no strength or ability to make a difference how big they were. Scriptures let us know that in this last day that will be like in the days of Noah, where there would be giants, there would be creatures, and there would be things that we have not been exposed to in our lifetime. There's going to be more death than we ever seen in our lifetime. But are we going to respond in fear? We're going to respond in joy, victory, knowing that the Most High is already secured. He can be as big as he want to be, but we know he's going to go down when we go to battle with him. Because the Most High is securing the victory. It's not in me. All esteem goes to him.
Verse 5. Yahuwah shall give them over to you, and you shall do to them according to all the command which I have commanded you.
You can do anything you want to them?
All that I command.
Oh, okay. That's a little different than what the people on the street corner are saying.
Right.
You have to do it according to commandment. Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Verse 6. Be strong and courageous.
Be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous. We need courage. And all of us in this room are going to need courage. When just like when our forefathers in the first Exodus, they had to have courage. There's a strong and powerful nation behind us, but we have to respond with courage. We saw areas where they weren't responding with courage, and we saw areas where they were they wanted to give up. But he's telling us, be of courage. We're not to fear. Our history is giving us the lessons that we need to learn and to know and to understand as we move forward. How are we going to respond when this nation rises up to try to destroy us as a people? They've been trying for a long time, but in their judgment, we need to respond and be of courage, so that we don't give in, so that we stand strong in faith, believing that the Most High has already won the battle for us.
They have done damage to us as a people. Many have died fighting their wars. Many were hung in trees. Many were lynched. Many are in the jailhouse even today. They said they were freeing us unless they could catch us in a crime. So look at the population of the prisons today, how it's mostly us. Many of us have fallen to drugs in our neighborhoods that they brought in through the CIA. Many of us have succumbed to the homosexuality that's running rampant in this nation right now, because they say that a man can marry a man, but it's not so in Torah. That's not what Yahuwah said. Many of our men are succumbing to AIDS and succumbing to the other forms of the curse which is on us, because they refuse to walk in the way. We are the remnant, and we must be strong. We must be ready to go and possess that which has been promised to our ancestors. To be redeemed, we must be ready to be redeemed. The fall feast days are coming up. Get your heart into an attitude of gratitude. Get your posture where you're down on the floor on your knees, seeking your salvation with fear and trembling. We cannot take anything for granted at this point. It's too important for us. The enemy is going to be coming against you. If you haven't noticed it lately, he's increasing his attack. Have you noticed? Am I the only one? He's coming against us. He knows his time is short. He's coming against us. He's trying to destroy families. He's trying to destroy marriages. He's trying to destroy us. His plan has never worked, and it will not work. Because no weapon formed against us shall prosper. But we have to have an attitude of gratitude. We have to be repentant for those places where we've fallen short. We have to be down on our knees. We have to forgive our brothers and our sisters. Hamashiach did it. Before they killed him, he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. We have to take that same attitude now. If we don't, your eternal salvation may be in question. If you're not willing to get on your knees and to take the posture where you humble yourself before him and work out your salvation with fear and trembling.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Continue.
Verse 6 continues. Do not fear nor be afraid of them, for it is Yahuwah, your Elohim, who is going with you. He does not fail you nor forsake you.
Hallelujah.
Who else do we have?
Hallelujah.
We don't have any other Elohim. No other El. We don't serve any other El. He is ours solely, belongs to us. He said that we are his portion,
Yes.
not the rest of the nation. So he is going with us. He is not going to forsake you. And so that means that all through the walk, all the way to the end, he's going to be with us to make sure that all that he has prophesied, all that he said would happen, all that he said he will do, he will do.
Okay.
He's not going to forsake us.
Okay.
What other nation could it still be here after all of what we have gone through?
No other.
We are a people that the Most High is not going to allow to be destroyed.
Hallelujah.
Not utterly destroyed. We know that we've gone through a lot, but we're still here
Okay.
Hallelujah.
because he's going to finish the work.
That's right.
Virginia.
Verse 7. And Moshe called Yahoshua and said to him before the eyes of all Yisrael, be strong and courageous, for you are going with this people to the land which Yahuwah has sworn to their fathers to give them, and you are to let them inherit it. And it is Yahuwah who is going before you. He himself is with you. He does not fail you nor forsake you. Do not fear nor be discouraged.
So, I will not leave you or forsake you is a precept that has gone from the Torah into the Brit Hadashah, which is the renewed covenant. It's not the New Testament.
Right.
It's the renewed covenant. That's why Hamashiach came, to renew us to Torah, to royal Torah, because he is now our king and our priest. The renewed covenant. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I will never leave you or forsake you. It's not just in the Brit Hadashah or the New Testament It came from the Torah.
Okay.
It's been there
Right.
all along.
Right.
I will never leave you or forsake you.
Yes.
And you see, he's passing on the mantle to Joshua, saying, letting him know that you're going to be the one that's going to take them over. He's going to be the one and giving the people who this next individual would be. That would be the one that would take them over and finish the work.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't just leave them without leadership. But he would be one of only 2 of the adults that left out of Mitzrayim that would make it over.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
Verse 9. Moshe wrote this Torah and gave it to the priests, the sons of Levi, who bore the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah, and to all the elders of Yashrael. And Moshe commanded them, saying, at the end of 7 years, at the appointed time, the year of release, at the festival of Sukkot, when all Yashrael comes to appear before Yahuwah your Elohim in the place which he chooses, read this Torah before all Yashrael in their hearing.
Now we're about to go into Sukkot.
Yeah.
We're about to go in the tabernacle. We're about to go out, and it is important again for us to have the Torah read, and it's important for us to have it in our hearts. It's important for us to know where we've been and what we're going through, and these feast days celebrate that. These are times of remembrance, of memorials, to know what we've been through and and what we've gone through, and knowing what we've been through, knowing even what we're about to go through as we go through a second Exodus.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is not our homeland, but this is where our land of our captivity, and we're practicing, and we're rehearsing all those things that our foreparents have went through, so that we're ready and we have this state of mind to understand, and we ready our own hearts for what we're about to go through, because we know, as we saw earlier today, 400 years is about over.
Hallelujah.
We're about to go home. All of this is what we've gone through. Being at the bottom is about to end.
Okay.
And I want to be able to see that day arrive, as he has spoke when we were reading in 28 and Deuteronomy 28, when we would be high above all the other nations.
Right.
That we would no longer be at the bottom. But we have to remember, and as we go through Torah, and as we learn what it is to be a nation, and as we go through the feast days and Sukkot, and in memorial of what our people were going through as they went through the wilderness, this should ready us, ready our hearts and our minds.
Okay.
What we need you to understand on today is that your heritage is not what will get you in
Okay.
to the kingdom.
Right.
It's not your heritage.
Right.
Your heritage plays a part in it. But you have to keep his commandments. You have to guard his precepts.
Uh-huh.
You have to walk in the way. You have to accept Hamashiach for who he is. He was a person of color. You have to repent of all your sins and turn away from that sin.
Okay.
You can't keep going back to it like a dog returns to its vomit. You have to turn away from that thing and walk the other way. And don't look back.
Verse 12. Assemble the people.
Assemble the people. Gather them. Gather them. We are to gather, to be assembled. And this is what we're doing today, and this is what we're doing as we have established SALT, to gather. We want to come together to learn and to understand what it is to be a nation again. It's been taken away from us. We've been blinded, we've been lied to, we've been shown something other than what the Most High desires for us as a people. We've been lied to.
Con?
And the influences are strong in this world. Psalms 83 lets us know that all the nations will be in confederate. They will work together to try to destroy us as a people. And so it doesn't make a difference where you go Doesn't make a difference where you come from. They're all working to keep us down. Why? Because the world and the powers that be don't want to see us rise to become a nation again, because they know that this is true.
You will be hated of all men for my name's sake.
They know the moment that we stand strong as a nation following all of his laws, statutes, commandments, that everything begins to turn and flip. No longer are we going to be in the ghettos anymore, but we're going to be ruling and reigning in all of the world.
Hallelujah.
No, they don't want us to know. They don't want us to understand. And so when he puts in our hearts together into the symbol, he says, I want you to be set apart people again. But that means we have to do things differently than we used to do them. We have to unlearn the things that we have learned in this land of our captivity. We've got to learn to appreciate who we are as a people, and appreciate how he has made us.
God.
We have to learn over again the cultural things. And so we start dressing different. Quit dyeing our hair blonde.
God.
Stop straightening it up. Why? Because that's not the way we are naturally.
Stop bleaching our skin.
What is it that causes us to want to look like the nation that have captured it, that has been oppressing us? Out in the West, they can deny you a job just because your hair is locked. It doesn't meet their standards. Well, their hair don't lock. Ours does. If we are proud people, people that believe in who we are and appreciate how the Most High has made us to be, then we should get to the point where we stop caring what they think.
Right.
Caring, I don't care if they like the way I dress.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
I don't care if they don't like the kinkiness of my hair. I don't care if they want to shave all the hair off their face and have a bald face. I don't want one. I'm going to do what's natural. The Most High gave me the ability to grow a beard, and I'm going to have one.
Okay.
And I even let it lock. Because I don't care what they think anymore. I'm done with that.
Hallelujah.
We've already been through a time when we was marching to strive to do it their way.
Didn't work for Dr. King.
They beat us in the streets, and they continue to hang us in the trees.
Didn't work for Malcolm X.
They continue to shoot us down, even our children and our old, and from the young to the old.
Didn't work for Jesse Jackson.
So why are we still trying it in 2018?
Didn't even work for Obama.
50 years ago they started this. 50 years ago we've been begging to try to be part of their system.
That's right.
It's time to say, you know what, enough.
Yes. Do you?
We just gonna be set apart.
That's right.
That's right. Hallelujah.
That's what we were called to do in the first place.
Yes.
Set apart people.
Yes.
The Most High was letting us know from the very beginning, I don't want you like the other nations.
Yes.
Don't do what they do. Don't learn the things that they teach you.
Why are you trying to fit in when he made you to stand out?
Hey.
Hallelujah.
To be set apart. To be salt and light to the nations. So that they could see you and esteem his good works and Shamayim.
Yes.
He made you to stand out. He didn't make you to blend in. When we moved here, I gave away all my business suits. I'm not wearing them anymore. I gave away hundreds of times. I don't need them anymore. Gators, I don't care about them. I will dress in a set apart way, and when I do that, people respond to me in a set apart way.
Okay.
I don't need the trimmings of this world. Nothing they got can entice me back to what they want. I don't want the American dream. I want the promises of the Most High.
But Moshe wrote the Torah and gave it to the elders. Gave it to those that are in leadership. Why? Because that Torah is going to establish you as a nation. It's going to give us our bylaws. It's going to give us our constitution. It's going to give us our morality, or it's going to give us our dietary laws. Assemble the people so that they can learn and understand what it is to be a people. Because when we go over into that land, we need to have something to stand on.
Hallelujah.
I ask people, you know, as I go out amongst the nations and as our people are waking up, you saw birth of a nation. You saw how when they wanted the young preacher to preach to the slave, they gave them the scriptures that they wanted them, and then they twisted it so that it'll fit their agenda.
Right.
And they still have the same house niggas preaching the agenda of the nations by telling us we don't have to follow the law, statutes, and commandments anymore. That's it. Because they know that for us to have the laws, the statutes, the commandments, that's what's going to establish and bring us back into the mindset of a people again.
They did what they wanted to do. If you go back and look at verse 10, it says, and Moshe commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years, in the solemnity of the year of release, slaves were released every 7 years and restored back into the community. If you had to become a servant for a while because you couldn't afford to feed your family, you became a servant or a slave to someone. But at the end of 7 years, you were restored. And they didn't just say you're free. They gave you livestock so you could make your offering in the temple. They gave you money. They gave you food. And you were released again every 7 years. This is not what they did in this country. They took us, they abused us, and they used us, and they tried to keep us as slaves indefinitely. But that is not the way of Torah. We need to understand the difference between what they did and what the Most High is asking of us. It's not the same as what they did. That's why he told us, don't learn the ways of the other nations. You're not to do as they do.
Many of our people think that we're free. We're not free in this country. I mean, the 13th Amendment tells you ain't free.
Commit a crime and see if you're free.
I mean, when the 13th Amendment was written, we weren't filling the prison houses, but because they were shifting their control because they knew they couldn't control us with the present way things were going. They had to reestablish and reorganize. And so they created a 13th Amendment. Then they started putting us in prisons. And this is why, as a minority in this country, 18% of the population, we are the majority in the prison system. Why? Are we committing more crimes than everybody else? No, but the laws that they have are so unjust that they come after us. Why? Because they want to continue the slavery that they started back in 1619.
As I was sitting on the front porch the other day with my Akeem, we happened to see basically a chain gang go by. Now, they're wearing their orange suits, and it's a sheriff in a truck following them, and they're picking up the litter on the side of the road, and it just lets you know that you might think that things have changed, but things have largely remained the same in this country. And so they say orange is the new black. We're the ones filling up the prison houses. We're the ones in the orange suits.
Orange is the new black. They want to keep giving us names after names, bywords.
Bywords.
Orange is the new black. We call them orange now. Because they're all our slaves, they're all gonna do our bidding, and they're all gonna do our work. But the Most High's got another plan.
Hallelujah.
It's been prophesied to us. Now he's calling us to assemble. Just like Moshe said, assemble all the people. Not just the men, not just the leadership, but the women and the children. Because all of us need to hear this.
Okay.
All of us are part of this. All of us are a nation of people that are going to go in, and we're going to represent the Most High to give him esteem.
Hallelujah.
Verse 12. Assemble the people, the men and the women and the little ones, and your sojourner who is within your gates.
Even the sojourner.
Ah.
The sojourner. We're so quick to want to throw away other people. But he lets us know that, when we were in Mitzrayim, we were sojourners there.
Okay.
That's right. Make it plain.
So let's not, there are going to be those that are waking up, even within the nation, recognizing the fact that they themselves had been inheriting lies.
Okay.
Do not abhor an Edomite, for he is your
Your brother.
Or a Mitzri, for you are a stranger in a strange land.
Okay.
So when the sojourner then latches on to say, I want to be part of what the Most High is doing in your life. That I want to be your people. I want to serve your Elohim. I want to adopt your cultures. Why?
I want
Because
to keep Torah like you're keeping Torah.
the one we had was destroying us, was lying to us. We had no part in that.
Surely our fathers have inherited lies.
Continue.
So that they hear, and so that they learn to fear Yahuwah, your Elohim, and guard to do all the words of this Torah.
To do all of the words of this Torah.
Hear and do.
We have to understand that, and I say this often, because when we read the blessings that we're going to receive, he don't have to promise any of the nations anything. It's not that they're not going to get nothing, but he don't have to promise them nothing. All he has to do is just point to where his kids are at. Well, I could just go over next to them. You're going to get blessed. Just be next to them. Do what they do. Follow what they do. Because I'm pouring out blessings so heavy on them that they're not going to be able to hold it all. I'm not going to promise the nation because the nations will be given over to other mighty ones. But those that want to be blessed with my people, just get over next to them. Just be next to them. And when I rain on them, you're going to get wet too.
Hallelujah.
Verse 13. And their children who have not known it should hear and learn to fear Yahuwah, your Elohim. As long as you live in the land, you are passing over the yard which you possess. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, see, the days have drawn near for you to die. Call Yahoshua and present yourself in the tent of appointment so that I command him.
So, go get Yahoshua because he is about to take on the mantle. He is about to be put in a position. The Most High is going to be dealing with him as he was dealing with Moshe to be able to take the people over into their land. The time for Moshe is over. He's about to die. He's 120 years old. Most High already let him know, you're not going over. And he's like, well, can I see it? And he took him to a high place and let him take a look at it. But your feet are not to touch that land. You're not to go over. Moshe is my favorite forefather. I used to say biblical character. But that's before I knew who I was.
Right.
That's right.
But that's forefather.
That's right.
And I can relate to him.
Hallelujah.
I struggle with the things that he struggled with because he's called me to lead. And I look at Moshe And I strive to understand what it is to be a leader. I strive to understand what it is to have a relationship with the Most High. I want to be used that the Most High gave esteem. That's all I want to see is the Most High gain esteem. And when Moshe wasn't able to go over, because he did not represent him the way he was supposed to, that drives me to focus even that much harder.
Okay.
That if I'm going to lead his people, that if I'm going to participate in being able to be a light and a beacon for his people to be able to look and to gain strength, that I got to represent him the way that I'm supposed to.
God,
I've got to take it serious. Because I know I don't have the relationship that Moshe had with him, that he had on the mountain with the Most High. I struggle with the fasting when I did 24-hour fast, let alone a 40-day, 40-night fast.
but he did place you on a mountain.
He might get me there, but he spoke to him face to face.
Hallelujah.
He spoke and he heard his voice. He spoke. He had such a relationship with him that when he came off the mountain, he was glowing. Most I ain't dealing with me like that. Not yet. I don't know if he has a plan to do it or not, but he's not dealing with me like that. So I know that if Moshe could not enter in because he made a mistake, then I know that I really have to pay attention to everything I'm doing, everything I'm saying. All of us.
Yes, sir.
Because none of the adults, save two,
Yes, sir.
that left out of Mitzrayim, entered in.
Yes, sir.
They all died in the wilderness.
Yes, sir.
Aharon, the very first of our high priests, died in the wilderness.
So there was some level of disobedience in the older generation, so that they weren't even able to enter the promised land. It was Yehoshua's generation that was allowed to enter into the promised land. So those of you who are sitting here that are older, know that you are Barak, because he has allowed you to come into the marvelous knowledge of the truth.
Okay.
And if you continue to hear and to do the things that he's requiring,
Yes.
you will be able to enter.
Yes.
Study to show yourself approved. A workman that can rightly divide the word. Continue to work out your salvation with fear and trembling. Why? Because the fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom.
Okay.
So if you fear him, then you're not going to want to represent him in a way that's wrong. And when you're out in the community, living your life, and a thought enters your mind that's not right, and you have to bring it into captivity, grab that fringe on your garment, look at that border of blue,
right.
and know that you're his people.
Okay.
You're his inheritance.
Okay.
No, I don't want to go to shake it. No, I don't care what my co-workers might want to go there, but I don't want to go. I don't want to participate in the things that you're doing because I'm set apart. I don't do that. There can't be any compromise in your life. There can't be any compromise. Because that plumb line has come down.
Yes.
That plumb line has come down, and you got to be on the right side of it.
Hallelujah.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
Don't compromise.
Yeah.
Don't compromise.
Okay.
Do not compromise.
That's why we call him Shema the Great. I can tell his age, that shady.
I won't let you go to shaky.
Thank you.
And Moshe and Yahoshua went and presented themselves in the tent of appointment. And Yahuwah appeared at the tent in a column of a cloud, and the column of a cloud stood above the door of the tent. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, see, you are about to sleep with your fathers, and this people shall rise and whore after the mighty ones of the strangers of the land, in the midst of which they shall enter, and forsake me, and break my covenant which I have made with them.
Now we went through Deuteronomy 28. We saw verse 1 through 14, talking about all of the blessings that they would have if they was obedient. Then we went through 15 through 68, talking about the curses that would come upon them if they would not be. Moshe let them know that, okay, people are going to fall. They're going to go whoring after other mighty. They're not going to do all that, Now, I'm thinking Yahoshua was like, then what am I here for? I mean, you putting me in charge of a broken ship. But we have to understand that the Most High is looking far ahead all the way to our day. Understanding that he was running a process, to be able, and we would eventually be delivered as a people. But we had to go through some things, and we did not fulfill all that we were supposed to.
Okay.
I was reading the scripture today, and I was in Daniel. Let's go to Daniel, the 9th chapter. And I believe, because I didn't plan on doing this. 11.
Dani'ėl, chapter
11.
9, verse 11.
Daniel 9, verse 11. And all Yisrael have transgressed your Torah and turned aside so as not to obey your voice. So the curse and the oath written in the Torah of Moshe, the servant of Elohim, have been poured out on us, for we have sinned against him.
Now, I remember when I first woke up. And I'm trying to come to grips that we truly are the people. I'm trying to come to grips with those that say they are the people that are not the people. And I wanted to hear how they taught Deuteronomy 28. And so I went and I found online, as they were going through their Torah portion, and I went and I said, let me listen to this rabbi as he teaches Deuteronomy 28, because I want to hear how he teaches it, because they say they're the people.
Okay.
And so as I'm listening to it, he can't identify. He's saying constantly, if we don't do, then these are some of the things that could possibly happen, as if it never happened. Come on. And they're saying, well, be careful, because you don't want this to happen to you. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Now, we're reading, and Daniel was saying that we transgressed.
Right.
The curses did fall upon us.
Okay.
We were a people that all of Deuteronomy 28 fell upon us. And like 45, 46 says that it would be a sign on us, and we can look and we can see that we are. Why? Because we didn't do what we were supposed to do. And so at that point I'm thinking, they truly are liars.
Okay.
They're not the people. Because just like their forefathers were saying, we ain't never been enslaved. We never been in captivity. But we have.
Surely our forefathers have inherited lies.
Okay.
We have. All the way up into the present captivity, we see all of what we've been through, and it lines up perfectly with our history. This is why I say this is our history book.
Okay.
And I tell those that don't understand, I say read Deuteronomy 28. Read from 15 through 68. I said it will read like the history book that you have in your school.
Right.
Because it points out all the things that we went through and our forefathers went through in the slavery of this land.
Okay.
But they don't know. They have no idea. They can't associate with it because they're not the people.
Okay.
He said he knows who they are. They call themselves Jews, but they're not. Who are they?
Synagogue of Satan.
The synagogue of Satan.
That is why they cannot be our teachers.
They cannot be.
If you don't know who the Most High's people are, you don't even understand that book because you're going to bless the wrong people. This country sends billions of dollars over there every year to bless Israel. But guess what?
billion.
Israel is here.
Right.
You're Israel.
Okay.
So they don't-
Somebody else got my money.
Better have our money. Right. They don't know. If you don't know who the people of the Most High are, you can't understand the scriptures. It's going over your head. You can't understand it.
Hallelujah.
3.7 billion a year. A year. To a people that occupy a land the size of New Jersey, the smallest state in this country. If this country poured $3.7 billion into New Jersey every year, I mean, how great would that? That's
Jersey in the house.
Right?
Get on that turnpike.
That's right. That's right.
New Jersey too?
What I'm talking about.
Deuteronomy.
We even have
Deuteronomy 31, verse 17. Then my displeasure shall burn against them in that day, and I shall forsake them and hide my face from them.
And so, we heard today that, that we were contrary to him. And in turn, he was contrary to us because he turned his face from us because of our disobedience. We went a-whoring after other mighty ones.
They shall be consumed.
We should be consumed. And all we have to do is look around and we know that we're being consumed on a regular basis. When we want to go visit our families and visit our friends, we go into the worst neighborhoods in every city, with the ghettos and places that are run down. Many of us have to go visit our father's lot behind bars. We've been consumed.
And many evils and distresses shall come upon them. And it shall be said in that day, is it not because our Elohim is not in our midst that these evils have come upon us?
People are struggling with even understanding who we are today because of the fact that we have been in this condition for so long. For so long. Where is this Elohim that you speak of, they say? Why is he not hearing us? I heard y'all familiar with Polite?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he was saying. Where is your Elohim? Why has he not heard us? Why has he not responded? Why are we struggling for so long? If he was there, if he was true, if he was who he said he was, why is he letting us go through this for so long? One of the things we have to understand is that we committed an amazingly grievous sin when we disobeyed the Most High. He's not to be played with. When all of the angels in the Shamayim are worshiping and praising him, and we, not even at the level of an angel, decide we're not going to do something, or decide that we're just going to go our own way. understand that we have to pay a heavy price and a heavy and that is falling upon our shoulders.
Yes, sir.
But he said, I'm not going to ultimately destroy them.
Okay. Hallelujah.
They're going to be destroyed as a people, but we're not going to ultimately destroy them. So he is going to renew that covenant with us again. And all the blessings that were promised will pour upon us, will pursue us again, and will overtake us. Understand, this is our last captivity. We've gone through many captivities, our people. This is it, though. We're at the very end. He said, know for sure that your people are going, telling our forefather, Abraham, know for a surety that your seed will go through captivity. They will be in a land and be, served. They'll serve them for 400 years. So it's over with. Things are about to turn. We are living in the greatest time
Hallelujah.
of all of our existence
Hallelujah.
up to this point, because it's getting ready to get even better.
Hallelujah.
But we're about to see all of what our ancestors have prayed for. Those that were being whipped and hung in trees and burned at the stake,
Hallelujah.
ridiculed, placed in prison, shot in the back. All of the tears that were down the faces of all of our grandmothers,
Yes.
as they had to bury their children.
Yes.
The day has arrived
Hallelujah.
where the Most High is hearing us and going to respond to our cry.
Hallelujah.
And we're about to be delivered and entered back into our own homeland. Just like Moshe was trying to prepare the people then, this is a message to prepare us to go back as well.
Verse 18. And I shall certainly hide my face in that day, because of all the evil which they have done. For they shall turn to other mighty works. And now, write down this song for yourselves, and teach it to the children of Yahshua.
Write this song down for yourself. I'm not going to go into that song today, but we did hear it. We did hear it. A beautiful rendition of it.
Amen. Yes.
A beautiful rendition of it. And, I ask that we sing it again next week.
All right.
Because this is important
Beautiful.
for us to understand, and this is why it's so important for us to teach our own children. Don't send them to them schools out there to learn how to be servants and slaves and to look down upon themselves. And yes, they do teach you that. They do. It hurt my heart to watch that video when they took that little black girl and they put the little white baby down and the black baby down. And they said, which one is the evil one? So they pointed to the black baby. Which one is the bad one? Pointed to the black baby. Which one is the ugly one? Pointed to the black baby. Where did they learn that? They didn't learn it in home, because at home, mama's black. My sisters are black. They all look like me, but somehow I've learned that something's wrong with me. That I'm not special. That I'm the cause of all the wrong that is going on around me. That I'm the ugly. I'm the ugly one. And then they start straightening their hair and dyeing it blonde to try to look like them. Putting on makeup to try because we got color in our face.
Okay.
They don't. They're the one that got to put stuff on to kind of make it look like they're alive. Our people have a natural beauty. Continue.
And now write down this song for yourselves, and teach it to the children of Yahshua. Put it in their mouths, so that this song is to me for a witness witness against the children of Yahushua. And I shall bring them to the land flowing with milk and honey, of which I swore to their fathers. And they shall eat and be satisfied and be fat.
So even though the Most High let them know before they even set foot into the promised land, I know which direction they're going. I know they're going to go whoring after the mighty one. But I'm still going to do my part. They're going to be blessed. They're going to have the things that I promised their forefathers. But they are going to also go into punishment for the things that they will do. Continue.
Then they shall turn to other mighty ones, and they shall serve them, and scorn me, and break my covenant. And it shall be, when many evils and distresses come upon them, that this song shall answer before them as a witness.
We ought to be singing that song all the time now, because we understand. We know what we've been through. Our hearts should be fully engaged into what the Most High desires for us as a people. Fully understanding that I can't do what my forefathers have done. I can't participate in what they participated in.
Hallelujah.
But that's why we assemble. That's why we gather and to teach our children and to allow healing to take place in our hearts and in our minds.
Okay.
I understand that some of us might still struggle with accepting who we are. I understand that. There is a powerful lies and deception going on around us that cause us not to be able to see and understand and to truly view ourselves in the right perspective. But if we could just get away from all of the negative influences, away from all of the things that that the nations have been teaching us, gather to a place where we can, for once, just take a deep breath without somebody calling us nigger. Somebody saying we ugly. Laughing at how dark our skin is. Telling us we ain't got good hair. Asking why our hair is the way it is. We still are getting it. I drive Uber, and just yesterday, picked up a car, picked up 3 white women from the airport. The first thing they want to do is talk about my hair. Now they said, "Oh, I like your hair," but really, do you? Because your people are the ones that are saying to me that the way my hair is not acceptable in corporate America.
That's right.
They're telling me that in corporate America that, we don't even have to hire you because of the way your hair is. They don't understand much about us at all. They don't appreciate us at all. Or who we are. They want us to be like them. And often that's all we try. That's why Shema said, got rid of all the suits. Well, I did the same thing. I got rid of all of mine too. I'm not trying to be like them anymore. What do I need a suit for? I'm not playing the games no more. You drag me in front of the court system. What do I need to put on your monkey suit for? Hallelujah. I mean, I know I'm not going to get justice in there, so if I'm not going to get justice in there, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to represent my people for who I am.
Hallelujah.
And so when everybody sees the videotape of me standing before that judge, they're going to say, that brother got fringes on. Why are they telling you you can't dress that way? I mean, when I watched a presentation of what's that president in Russia? What's his name? Putin. And he was giving awards out to heads of these nations, and and the European nations, they had on their suits. Then I saw 4 African nations. One of them, he had on a monkey suit. The other two, I mean, the other three, they wore their traditional garb. And I was like, you know, that's accepted. And, you know, from the heads of state of nations around, they don't, I mean, everybody don't have to. So, but why do we? Why do we have to?
Okay.
When we try to stand up for who we are as a people, why do we have to then put on a monkey suit? Put on a tie? Our people don't do that.
You never heard monkey see, monkey do?
So,
I'm sorry.
When we go to special engagements, or even engagements of remembering those that have passed on, why do we have to wear a suit and a tie?
We don't.
I mean, I sat there and I sat and I thought hard. Why would I ever need to wear this again? Now that I know who I am, why would I ever have to wear this again?
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Somebody said, well, what about an interview? Well, if they want me to wear a suit to get paid, then obviously they don't want me there. They don't want my skill set. They don't want me for who I am. They want me to be somebody else. Then I don't need that job, because if that should be the first red flag. You got to look like them, else you're going to be oppressed. You have to be like them, or either you can't be part. And so, let that be the test then. Do y'all accept me? Oh, my best friend is black. Yeah, come on in. Well, then let me come in my traditional dress. And stand before you and be accepted amongst you. So I don't need a suit. Because the moment they say, no, he can't come in here, why are you dressed like that? Can I see your hair? Well, can you cut that off? I've talked to people that were paid to cut their locks off. Paid by the job they were at. Paid to cut their locks off. Because they're not accepted in this thing. We're not accepted.
Okay.
So if you don't want to accept me for who I am, and for me being natural, I mean, you ain't got to cut your little stringy hair off. Who's making you dye your hair a different color? You ain't got to go get no perm and kink it up and have an afro. Everybody, you got to have an afro when you come in here to get high. If I say that, I have my own business. All the white women got to wear afro wigs or kink their hair out. Because it's unacceptable to be in this environment not looking like us. Afro for everybody. Come through the door and you get a clip on.
Verse 21 continue. For it is not to be forgotten in the mouths of their seed. For I know their thoughts, which they are forming today, even before I bring them to the land of which I swore to give them. And Moshe wrote this song the same day and taught it to the children of Yashrael. He commanded Yahoshua, son of Nun, and said, be strong and courageous, for you are to bring the children of Yashrael into the land of which I swore to them, and I myself am with you.
When we read the book of Yahoshua, we see how he was strong and courageous. He was a mighty warrior. He wasn't a young man, but he was a mighty warrior. When he saw the angel of the Most High standing, he went to him and he, with hand on his sword, asked him the question: are you for us or against us? But understand that he was ready to deal with whatever the answer was. Because if the answer was, I'm against you, he was ready for battle.
Okay.
If the answer is for you, then I'm ready to listen. That's courageous. Our people didn't always respond with courage. When they were at the base of the mountain and they heard the voice of the Most High, they were like, no, Moshe, you go listen. You talk to him and then come back and tell us what he said.
Right.
Yahoshua was right there with Moshe, right at the base of the mountain, willing to deal with and being a man of courage throughout the whole thing. So yes, he was groomed to be able to take charge. And Caleb, he was something different. Why was he able to go in? Anybody remember why?
Servant of the Most High. Yeah, different spirit.
Different.
He had a different rule. I might not have had the opportunity to sit at the base of the mountain until Moses went up and down. But I'm going to believe every word he said. I'm going to be faithful and I'm going to trust in the Most High. So much that when I go in, when he went into the promised land, he's like, I don't make no difference what I see. I'm going to be a man of courage to know that the Most High will go in before me to make sure that the battle is won. So, yes, along with the good report that it is a land of milk and honey, that we can destroy every people that's there that the Most High decide goes under the banner. We need to have that same spirit. Continue, go ahead.
Verse 24. It came to be, when Moshe had completed writing the words of this Torah in a book until their completion, then Moshe commanded the Levites, who bore the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah, saying, take this book of the Torah, and you shall place it beside the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah your Elohim, and it shall be there as a witness against you. For I myself know your rebellion and your stiff neck. See, while I am still alive with you today, you have been rebellious against Yahuwah. Then how much more after my death?
Now, as a witness against you, it's been a witness against us. All we have to do is look at the condition that we live in now. And we see how, that we've gone through the curses. Why? Because it was written that we would go through these things. It's a witness for us. I can see. That's how we know, and that's how these other pastors know that say that we don't have to follow the commandments. How do you figure that when you know that the way you found us was looking into the law, statutes, and commandments? That's how you found who you were. You even named your little program School of the Hebrews or whatever, because you know who we are. But in the very book that pointed to us, that gave you the understanding of who we are, it also said that we have to turn back to. So you play the games of our captors that tell us we don't have to follow the law, statutes, and commandments anymore. You're a tool for the enemy to keep us in subjection, to keep us at the bottom. You say you want us to rise to the top, but how can we if we have no laws to govern ourselves? What laws are we then to look to? What establishes us as a nation of people? Do we come up with them ourselves and then turn around and call us and say that we are his people? You haven't read your word if that's what you think. Because if we're his and all esteem go to him, then he says that he is set apart. The only way that we can know what set apart is to be instructed by him as to what that looks like. And so we need his right rulings. We need his commandments. And we need his guidance in order to understand truly what it is. We don't know what to eat. I don't know how everything was created. Catfish tastes good.
Right.
I don't know what that thing does. I mean, I don't know what it's going to do to my body.
Right.
But he does.
Right.
He said, stay away from that thing. Me and my Yeshayah used to, put the kids to bed and put a pot of crab legs on the stove, some a bowl of butter, pour a glass of wine, and sit and enjoy each other's company. Why? Because we don't know no better. I need him to tell me what to do. God. I need his instruction, his right rulings to guide me so that I understand what it is to be set apart. I can't get that on my own. Nowhere is he saying that we go, that it's just we just gonna know based off of our own understanding. Even when we get into the millennial kingdom, he said he's gonna put it in us. He didn't say we're gonna go find it under a rock somewhere. So we gotta read it and we have to understand it and we have to apply it to our life if we're truly to represent him the way he said we're supposed to. But if we throw this away, then where are we going to? Because, I look at the way the Asians eat, and I'm like, I'm done with that, too.
Yeah, for sure.
I look at how the nation in which is our captors, I look at how they treat the animals, shoot them all up with all kinds of chemicals. They have no clue of what to do to eat properly. Not a clue. They manufacturing chemicals to put in everything that they eat. Maybe it worked for them, but it don't work for us because we get all kinds of sicknesses and diseases. Stuff they be spraying on, literally the stuff they spray on the food to keep the pesticides off, causes homosexuality. Oh yeah, they fired the scientist that figured that out. They tried to shut him up because he did experiment after experiment on frogs and things, and found out that chemical caused them creatures to desire the same sex. And if it's happening in them, what is it doing? Why is there an explosion of homosexuality in this country? They're spraying it in our foods. And so we say, like we say here, assemble the people. Let's gather, let's get away from this nation and what they're trying to do. Because they don't care. They don't have the same relationship with Elohim like we do. Okay. So why am I listening to them? Why do I want to follow after their laws? Why do I want to hear how they eat? I'm not interested in them. Because they ain't trying to do nothing here. Matter of fact, they're saying that it's done away with. Well, where do you find that at? Then they go in and hum and haw and twist and lie because it ain't here. Just follow Jesus. That's what I am doing. I'm following Yahushua. And what did he say? Don't even think I'm going to do away with the laws or the prophets. So what Moshe said, I'm down with that.
Right.
What the Most High gave him, that's how I'm going to live my life. So who is this Jesus you want me to follow?
Right.
Because it don't line up with what I'm finding here.
Right.
Because the one that I'm finding here said, I want to hear every word the Father said. And we saying, let's get rid of it.
Not so.
I'm interested in, so listen, if we're going to be set apart, if we're going to truly be the people that are awakened to understanding who we are, marching ain't going to get us there. Guns is not going to get us there. Trying to build our own cities ain't going to get us there. That's right. Lightening up our skin don't get us there. Straightening our hair don't get us there. Our men marrying white women don't get us there. Presidency don't get us there. The only thing that's going to get us there is his laws, statutes, commandments. Let's go back to that. Okay. That's what That's the instructions here. Nobody out there is even hinting towards that. Why? Because they know that you give them this, it's over. You let them come to that understanding, it's over. So let's finish the work. But we gotta, this is what we have to heed to. Read and obey. Follow this. It's not hard. It's not grievous. He let us know it's not. It's right here for our learning, our understanding.
28. Assemble unto me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, so that I speak these words in their hearing.
I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm assembled. I'm here. What is the Torah say? I want to understand. Moshe, what's in your song that I need to know, that I need to teach to my children? I'm listening now.
Faith cometh by what?
Hearing.
I'm listening now.
Hallelujah.
I was a pastor in the Christian church. I wasn't listening. I was teaching live. But I'm listening now.
Hallelujah.
And I'm getting it right.
Hallelujah.
When he said get my people, he said go get some land so that I can send my people there. That's what I'm doing. What is it going to be based off of Torah? What kind of people are we going to be set apart? He didn't say we're going to be Kojic, Baptist, Methodist, Jehovah's Witness, Seventh-day Adventist. We're not going to be none of that. This ain't going to be on no denominations. He didn't say go establish a new religion.
Right.
It's like I'm getting rid of all of that mess. I don't want none of it. What I want is to know who I am as a people. Come to find out I'm right here in the very book Grandma had on the table. It was there all along. All we had to do was open it up. Somebody lied to me.
Sir.
Now I know. I'm listening. I'm hearing. And I'm obeying. I had a good job. I could have stayed out there and done well. Kept my suits. Been part of the good old boy network. I was making enough to buy me a Mercedes. I had a nice house. Even had a white picket fence when I got there. That wasn't the most highest dream for me.
Okay.
That was somebody else's dream, and I was following after that. But he opened my eyes.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I got a phone call one day and like, did you know that we the people? I'm like, no, where you getting that from? I said, I've been reading this thing all my life. What are you talking about? I said, I didn't heard some. It's right there in the book. We them people. So we started that study together, and my eyes became open. Then I started listening intently. I don't want what they have no more. I don't want to strive for what they striving for. So y'all can have y'all suits and ties, y'all shiny shoes. Give me some sandals and a garment, and I'll be all right.
Hallelujah.
I don't want any of that no more. So now I'm going in a different direction. Yeah, I was teaching before the commandments were done away with. I didn't have to stop teaching grace. You see, a lot of times they want to say, oh, we under grace. But yeah, we've been under grace. We was under grace when the commandments were given. There was grace when Moshe was writing. There was grace.
Mm-hmm.
So we always been under grace.
Okay.
But I'm not under your lying grace, though. I'm under the grace that was always here. The Most High had a love for me. And he chose me. And I had favor with him. And so he spoke to my ancestors and loved me enough. And there was enough grace in his heart to be able to be able to establish a covenant with my forefathers that I now want to honor.
Todah.
I want to honor that.
Yes.
I want to go back to that day that we all said, All that you say, all that you have given us, we will obey.
Yes.
That's the day I want to go back to.
Hallelujah.
That's what I wish I would have taught my children. So if you got young children today, teach them that. If they can't spell a single English word, let them know what the Torah says. They might not know what 2 + 2 is, but if they know what the Torah is, they far better off than anybody else. They may never even get a degree that this country could give them, or a piece of paper to say that they didn't learn all that we want to teach them. Matter of fact, don't teach them all that. They teach them more than that. Give them this. They can get this. Guess what? They'll rule the world.
Literally.
They'll rule the world.
Okay, continue. So that I speak these words in their hearing, and call the Shamayim in the earth to witness against them. For I know that after my death you shall do very corruptly, and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you. And evil shall come to you in the latter days.
In the wind?
In the latter days.
Evil shall come to us in the latter days.
Because you do what is evil in the eyes of Yahuwah, to provoke him through the works of your hands. So Moshe spoke in the hearing of all the assembly of Yashrael the words of this song to their completion.
We're going to go over that song next week. We're going to hear it again, so.
Yes.
I don't think anybody has any objection to that.
No, sir.
We're going to hear it again. Then we're going to look at it, and we're going to break it down, and we're going to talk about it. Why? Because it's important for us to understand. You know, right here, we have everything that we need. Right in the Torah. We've been lied to, we've been told, we've been deceived, and we've been turned to go in a different direction. By all pure, that's what's happened to us. They couldn't capture us, overcome us. They couldn't defeat us. They couldn't destroy us until we turned away from our Elohim. That's what happened. That's why we're in the condition that we're in today. Because we weren't whoring after other mighty ones. We looked into something we shouldn't have looked into. A lot of us men understand exactly what that means. When you see something for the first time when you're a young man that you ain't never seen before, you can't get that image out of your head. We looked into something we should never looked into. And it's been plaguing our forefathers and us all of our lives. And it's caused us the greatest pain that we could ever experience. We're waking up. And I've said this, that when we look into our history, all of the men and women and children that were hung in trees, the backs that were whipped, the men and the women that were worked to death. This is why the slave trade was so big in South America, because they were working them to death. Literally to death. So much that they had to keep sending slaves because they were saying they don't have to sleep long. So they give them 2 hours of sleep. They don't have to eat that much. Give them a little bit of food. Don't eat nothing you pick. And work from dark to dark. I mean, you start when it's dark and you end when it's dark. Get you a couple hours of sleep and go back to work. And work until you drop dead. They were praying. Yes, sir.
There was a question posed said, how you see what you just got to talking about, how they just worked you to death, just didn't care about you at all. You was an animal. And this guy asked me, he said, why would the Most High do this to you, bring this evil upon you, and then turn around and punish the people? Well, one thing, punish the people who brought this evil, he used as a tool to bring this evil. But then, you know, it's not that the Most High brought a lot of evil upon us. Sure, he said he was. But these people went too far.
Yes, they did.
Zechariah 1:15 tells you about how he is displeased with the heathen because they went overboard. They did things, feeding our kids to alligators. You know, all kinds of things they did that Most High didn't tell them to do. So that's why it's coming to them. That's why the Most High is going to destroy them and avenge us and all the evil that they done to us. When I think about it, I don't know how I would have made it. I mean, you watching your kids get fed to alligators. You watching them tie one leg to another leg and take a horse and pull you apart. They get on Sunday, they go on Saturday night before they go to church Sunday morning, they stand outside with the whole neighborhood cheering your death.
Don't think they weren't praying. And their prayers are heard and are waking up. If we don't respond to what we're waking up to, then we're just as responsible for what happened to them as the nations that were doing it. We have a responsibility to follow Torah. It's what they want us to do.
Right.
Because they know that this is why they went, this is why they're there. This is why they were going through what they were going through. Because they weren't following, our ancestors weren't following Torah. And so we suffered and they went through. And if we could only get back, if we could only have somebody teach us, if only somebody could tell us again how to live, that we might hear that all of this could end. The heaviness of heart of the mothers that wake up in the morning and their 2-year-old is gone. Why? Because somebody stole them in the night and fed them to an alligator. To sit and watch your 11-year-old daughter be shipped off to a house of prostitution, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. We owe it to them to follow through with what the Most High is doing. He's waking us up.
Yeah.
With all of our hearts, we ought to be striving with every ounce of strength that we have to do everything we can possibly do to be salt, set apart, living Torah. To be set apart. No longer do I want to be like the people that have done this to my people. No longer do I want to participate in their celebrations and push my celebrations aside. No longer do I want to dress and look or to carry myself like them, but I want to be what He's called me to be, and that is a set apart people. Nobody on the planet dresses like we dress. You say, well, you know, don't the Arabs wear them long garments and head wraps, and don't the Africans have all? Yeah, but He told us to put fringes on. Told us to put tzitzis on. He even told us how to name our children. We don't name them Butch and Bob and Sally and Sue and Margaret and Judy and
Tyrone.
Tyrone and Toby. But He said His people carry His name. So why do I even want to carry the name that I was given in this land of my captivity? I don't like it anymore. I don't want it anymore. But I want a name that speaks to who I worship. Speaks to the character that He's put into me. Not interested in what they think about that. We got people that come on this mountain that passes by and finally roll up and they want to know who we are. They want to shake your hand and my name is Bob. What's your? Mine is Yeshayah. Yeshayah Lamid.
Yeah. Yahoo.
And they just look at you and all you can see is the lips move. don't sound like one of them slave names that you're supposed to have. No, it ain't. I was looking to hear Chucky or something like that. You ain't Chucky? No, I ain't Chucky. I'm not Leonard. I'm not Harold anymore. I'm Yisab. What is that? That's Yah's patient. Who's Yah? That's my Elohim. It's not the same one you serve, because yours is saying you don't have to follow me. Mine says I have to hear and obey his every word. I go to church too, but you ain't learning what's in here. Y'all fabricating and making stuff up. Well, we go on the same day, yeah, but you ain't following the Sabbath the way you're supposed to. So there's a difference. So we will continue no matter what to be set apart, and that's the desire, and that's what we should strive to do.
Okay.
And yes, we're going to have to go through. We're going to have to make some sacrifices. Some of us that drive nice, pretty cars with pretty colors on them and nice rim, might have to say, you know what, it's time to stop going after all of this stuff that this nation wants me to go after. But you know what, let me get rid of it all and strive to accomplish something that honors the Most High and his people. I'm not looking for what they want me to do. I'm looking for what he wants me to do. So I give it all up. I give it all up. I want from my heart to be able to sing a new song. Not one of whoredom. Not one that degrades the daughters of the Most High. But one that lifts him up and that gives him esteem. I pray that I get rid of this language now, because I want him to give me the language of creation, and that's all I ever want to speak. But until that day, I know I have to communicate in this language, but one day, I pray that I never have to open my mouth to say another English word again.
Okay.
That it'll be all the Hebrew. That my thoughts be in that language. On all of my intents, from my heart, be in that language. But I have to let go to get there. Gotta let go. You're still holding on to this world, still holding on to this society, still got a twinkle in your eye when you look at that flag. You're not gonna get there. People look at, the stars and bars and, the Confederate flag and say, I'm offended with that. But how come the stars and stripes don't offend you? Why does that one offend you? Neither one represents our freedom. They both are flags of oppression for us.
Okay.
I'm just offended by one as I am the other. But I can't stop them from flying it. But when we moved here, we took it off the garage. We was one hanging on the garage. We took it and drove it through the dirt. So it's not our flag.
Not my country.
Not my country. And I honor it not. I'm not asking for nothing from them. I mean, stop shooting the Black Lives Matter. I'm done crying, asking them for anything. I don't want nothing from y'all. I want all that the Most High have for me. That's who I'm looking for something. Y'all have nothing to offer me. Nothing. We'll give you a job. I don't want your jobs. Because all that is a form of slavery and imprisonment. You ain't gonna do right by me in any way, form, or fashion. I don't want your food. I don't want your music. I don't want your clothes, your styles, your fashions, nothing. I don't want nothing. So I'm not asking for nothing. I just want to be set apart, and I want to live a life of poor. That's it.
Okay.
I'm gonna end it here because I can keep going. I'm gonna end it here because we get a point where where we get tired. We're done. We say it's in their DNA. If we say it's in their DNA, then what you asking them to change anything for? Don't ask them to change nothing. Don't ask them for an apology. Don't ask them to say, to give you nothing. What they ought to be doing is asking you. If they ain't asking me for nothing, then ain't nothing. There's nothing to be had from them. I don't want your schools anymore. I don't want your books, your seminars, nothing. I have everything I need right here in my history book.
Okay.
It's right here. It will encourage me. It will strengthen me. It will guide me, and it will give me what my children need to know. And at the end of the day, when we are fully established as a nation, it won't be because we ask you for nothing. It's because we will rise to rule the world. Not for 4 years, not for 200 years, not for 400 years, but we will never relinquish this ever again. We will never sin against our Elohim ever again.
Hallelujah.
It was done. It's it. This is it. We've learned it. We've gone through all that we were supposed to go through, and it's done. The nations will be judged, and we will be redeemed as a people and given a new heart, one that is circumcised to be sensitive to all the Most High desires and wants for us as a people. And He will put in our very DNA all of the Torah that we won't even have to teach the youngest of us. They will have it in them to live right and to serve Him all of their lives. Yeshayah.
Turn with me to Hosea chapter 14, verse 1. We're almost done. It's been a good day, and a good word has come forth. Let's see what prophecy said about us. Hosea chapter 14, starting at verse 1. O Yasharal, return unto Yahuwah Eloheka, for you have fallen by your iniquity. Take with you words, and turn to El Yahuwah, and say to him, take away all iniquity, and receive us graciously. So we will render the calves of our lips. Ashur shall not save us. We will not ride upon horses, neither will we say any more to the work of our hands or the idols we have made. You are our mighty one. For in you the fatherless finds mercy. Look what he says in verse 4. I will heal their backsliding. I will love them freely, for my anger is turned away from him. I will be as the dew unto Yasharal. He shall grow as the lily and cast forth his roots as Lebanon. His branches shall spread, and his beauty shall be as the olive tree, his smell as Lebanon. They that dwell under his shadow shall return. They shall revive, as the grain, and grow as the vine. The scent thereof shall be as the wine of Lebanon. Ephraim shall say, what have I to do anymore with idols? I have heard him and observed him. I am like a green fir tree. From me is your fruit found. Who is wise and shall understand these things? Prudent, and he shall know them. For the ways of Yahuwah are right, and the just shall walk in them, but the transgressors shall fall therein. So, how do we obtain the blessings and come out on top? By listening to every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Father, and every word that Hamashiach said, because he only said what he heard the Father say.
Okay.
He only did what he saw the Father do.
Okay.
What should we do? We should do what he did.
Okay.
Because he was the Torah, the living word.
Mm-hmm.
He showed us how to walk in our lives in a way that we would be the light. He was the light. When we follow him and do what he instructed and keep the commandments and guard his precepts, repent and turn from sin and accept Yahushua for Hamashiach for who he was. That is how we get back on top. That is how we disengage from the lies that we've been taught and from the dreams that they are trying to hypnotize you to dream. When I moved to the mountain, I gave away my car because I thought my daughter needed it more than I. Why? Because I'm not trying to go to a job anymore. I'm not trying to fit into their system anymore. I would rather be a baraka to others. I would rather bless others and help others and live a set-apart life than have their dreams. I don't want their dreams. I want the covenant of the Most High, the promises of the Most High, the blessing of the Most High. How do I get that? By following his instructions that are in that book. If I follow his instructions, I can't go wrong. If he be for me, who can be against me?
Okay.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
It's been a wonderful Shabbat today. Let us stand and pray. Yahuwah, Todah for the word that was brought forth under the unction of your Ruach HaKodesh, or set-apart spirit, from the Torah on today. Help us to retain it in our minds and to do it with our hands. Help us to be doers, not just hearers. Help us when we come into the challenges of this coming week to remember who we are, who you are to us, and who we are in you. As we sit down to enjoy the meal that's been prepared, let us reverence you. Yahuwah, our Elohim, from whom all blessings flow. We say Todah Rabbah for the food which we are about to receive, your bounty. Barak to the nourishment of our bodies and minds. Because you bring forth the bread from the earth. You bring forth the grape from the vine. We are the clay. You are the potter. Mold us and shape us into the person that you would have us to be. We ask all these things in Hashem Yahushua. Aman. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yeah. Yahuwah barak you and guard you.
Yahuwah barak you and guard you.
Yahuwah make his face shine upon you.
Yahuwah make his face shine upon
And
you
show favor to you.
and show favor to you.
Yahuwah lift up his face upon you.
Yahuwah lift up his face upon you
Give you
and give you
shalom.
shalom.
Hallelujah.